Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sophie. Today we're going to talk about what I did to become more feminine. If you're watching this video, you're probably thinking about your own femininity. Maybe because you are missing it, you are longing for it. And that's also how I used to feel. My journey towards becoming more feminine started about 1.5 years ago. And that was when I burned out while studying my master's at a business university. And I completely burned out. I could not do anything. I stayed in bed for 2 weeks. I could not pull myself together to study for the exams, and I worked so hard to get where I was for that master. I really had to do a lot of extra stuff to get in, and I had been dreaming of that master like for the last 3 years before I started there. So it was really rough for me, and the way I saw it most clearly was that I was overeating, binge eating. I could not stop eating sugar stuff. That was my way of relaxing a little bit because I was doing so much, but I didn't know. I just couldn't understand why I couldn't stay away from it. And then I started dealing with that. I learned that I was stressed out. And then a little bit later on in that process, because I had to drop out of my studies because I could not do anything anymore. So when I started taking care of my sugar addiction, I learned that I had been stressed out, and then I came across Candice Onita. And she is amazing. And she put words to what I was knowing inside me, but I couldn't understand because it was so far from me. She talked about masculinity and femininity and how we all have both. But for most women, they need to be more in their feminine of themselves than in their masculine. And then she explained what masculinity was when women are being in their masculine, when comparing that to when women are being in their feminine. And I was like, that was what was wrong with me. I could feel this yearning inside that was like, yes, that's it. This is me, hear me. Like it was coming from deep inside my feminine core that had been so neglected. I had neglected it so much. It was just like, yes, hear me, I'm here. Like it was lost at the sea, and now there was this lifeboat coming by, and it was like, save me, I'm here. You know, when you see somebody at sea, you have to pick them up, you have to save them. Which is causing some troubles for Maersk at the moment with the refugee crisis. Enough about that. I started noticing and learning more about femininity and masculinity, and I was just kind of awestruck at how much I was missing it, how much I was missing being in my feminine, and that I was exhausted because I was too much in my masculine. Like that was not my natural setting. That was not my truly preferred way of being in life. Otherwise, I would probably have come in as a man, you know? Not like this. To me, femininity, it is about feeling feminine. It's not about the result, it's about the process while you're doing something. Like playing a game because it's fun, not because you want to win. That's more the masculine. With my studies, I was doing so much extra stuff. It was kind of fun, some of the stuff, but I was doing it to get on my resume so I could get to a company and get it done, you know, like I was not enjoying the process very much. I was doing it very much for the result. Being more process oriented, being more experience oriented, that's more feminine. Some other things that are more feminine versus masculine. When you're in your feminine, you are connected to your body. You like wearing clothes that are a little bit loose because you can feel it on the skin. throughout your day. Just brings you down in your body. I started being more in my body by being outside more. It was summer at the time, so I would enjoy the sun. I would feel the sun. I would feel the wind on me. I would try to use my senses more. Another aspect of being more in my body is that I really enjoy dancing, and I've been doing gymnastics, not like Olympics gymnastics, you know, kind of dancing gymnastics throughout my life, even though I was not friends with that many people on the team. It was a really big team. I really loved it because I loved doing gymnastics and dancing. It was not for the social aspect of it or for the team, but I really loved it. That was the sport hobby I did the most. And at the moment I wasn't doing that or anything similar. I was actually doing boxing 2 or 3 times a week with my sister, and why did I do it? I did it to work out. I did it because it was a fun community. I did it to be together with my sister, but I actually did not enjoy boxing. I enjoyed that I could know to hit a punch now and throw a ball, because I learned I had to use my whole body for it, but it was not fun for me while I was doing it. It was more like, oh, it was nice, I did it afterwards. Because I had my sugar addiction and was binge eating all the time for many years, I was also trying to work out a lot and was very obsessed about food, you know. Hopefully you don't, but I would always work out for the result. Go for a run to burn calories, or I would make a workout plan because I had to work out. Like, it was very result oriented. So I stopped all of that. I was thinking to myself, which ways of moving my body do I actually enjoy while I'm doing them? My first one was dance gymnastics. My second one was swimming. I just love when you're in the water and you feel the water all over your body, and when you're diving in, like feel like a mermaid. Yeah, I really like that. And then I had started rollerblading or roller skating, or what you call it, which is still a little difficult for me, but I think it's fun while I do it. Like, it's that movement when you're going, but I'm still a little afraid of falling. But yeah, those were the 3 things that I loved the most. I started doing them more. I started dancing classes. I tried out with burlesque. Just so amazing. You know, it's such a feminine type of dance. You're being sexual, you're being sensual, and you're having fun, and you're together with all these lovely women, and you really accentuate the curves of your body, and really it's such a feminine activity for me. I absolutely love it. I also started heels because that's also a feminine dance. It's the same dance school I go to, actually, with the same teacher. So it's like burlesque heels in a way. That's also another thing. I started wearing heels more. I started wearing dresses more because looking feminine also gave me a feeling of being feminine. Walking in heels, it makes me feel elegant, and it also forces me to slow down more. Because that was another thing. I was always going. I was always late. I'm still kind of late a lot of the time, which is one of my worst habits. But I was always going fast all the time. I was always filling up my calendar, going from this to that to this to that. I'm still working on not doing that too much. But wearing heels during that summer, and I have continued to do so, because in Denmark everybody wears flat and I'm quite tall anyway. But wearing heels, it made me feel more feminine, because I felt like I looked good, I looked feminine, and also I had to slow down and I had to concentrate more in my body to wear heels. Like, you can't just wear heels, you're gonna look like a dinosaur. You don't want to be looking like a dinosaur, so be graceful like a swan. I started wearing heels more, I started wearing dresses more, lots of skirts. I was looking at styles and what to me looked feminine. I really like the V-neck or like the wrap dresses, because that fits very well on my figure. You have to figure out which kind of clothes makes you feel feminine. I went through a period where I didn't wear very much makeup. I would bend my eyelashes, but didn't put any makeup on. Of course, do my brows, a little bit on the cheeks. And now I kind of went back to, because at first I was like all about my natural beauty. Then I turned into more like kind of realizing that I actually really enjoy putting on makeup. Actually, I remembered that I really like putting on makeup. So do my eyes a little bit soft, doing my hair more, keeping it all natural. Sometimes I want to color it more light, but I love my hair too much. I want to be doing that. That was some of the ways that I felt was the easiest places to start with femininity. And I also took half a year completely off dating, really focused on giving myself some peace and quiet because I had been stressed out. I needed to fill up my energy. So I took half a year completely, no dating at all, really just focused on getting to know who I was and what I enjoyed. And that's also be honest about the things you enjoy. If you enjoy to be with your friends and family, game nights, or hosting dinners, or something more creative. Being creative is also very feminine, so creative hobbies. It can be cooking, it can be sewing, it can be painting. Whatever you find releases some creativity within you, that can be a way to be more in your feminine. Another thing that I have tried to do more is when it comes to dating. It's still a little difficult for me because I used to be very intense. I used to be very pushy. Hopefully not too much, but I used to be kind of pushy when I was into someone, if I was even brave enough to talk with them. I learned that you have to be more still. You have to be more still, you have to be patient. Give the men the space and time they need to come to you. It's also what feels the best. I was kind of chasing the men that I liked, and you know what? It did not feel good. It didn't felt good to me. I was like, oh, do they really like me? Because I never gave them the chance or the space to show that they liked me. So I know now that I have to not necessarily take a step back, but I have to be still. I have to stand my ground. Keep your standards. Keep your standards, girl. One of my biggest standards is that I do not go on home dates or like go home to people that I have not met in real life. For example, with Tinder dating. I kind of dropped Tinder dating lately, but we'll see how that goes. What else did I do to be more feminine? I started to take more care of my home, to be more clean in my home, to take pride in how my home was, especially when I had guests. Having some plans, it's also more feminine because you're taking care of something. But improving my home environment and taking pride in that and start cleaning more, that helped my femininity because it was taking care of my home, it was beautifying my home. Beautifying is very feminine and just give me a lot of calm when I'm home. And it's kind of more minimalistic and than what it used to, which makes it easier to keep. I think I also tried being more together with my friends, my female friends, nurturing those women to women relationships because it's quite important for women to be with other women. And then one of the biggest things I did was probably being honest about what I really wanted. Listening to my core of what I did really want from life, what I really wish for, what I really desired in my life. And that was not to be a successful international businesswoman with her own consulting company as I thought. I find culture in business quite interesting. I like strategy, but that was not my deepest desire to spend all my time on. That was a desire that I got when I was 7. I remember this moment. I was bored that I couldn't go traveling like all my friends. My father had just died and we didn't have that much money, and but you know, we was poor for Scandinavian standards, but not not really for like world standard. I didn't know that as a kid, so I was like, I want to go travel. How can I do that? I need money. How can I get money? I have to become a businesswoman. Okay, I'll become an international businesswoman. Life purpose is set. You know what that means? This means that I set my life goal after the logic of a 7-year-old. It's okay to change direction. But I have a memory before that, thinking of what I really wanted. I remember at my mom's office, I was counting her encyclopedias, and I get to 24 and I'm like, that's how many kids I want to have. That's like the earliest memory of thinking of what I wanted for my life. All through this, I want to be an international successful businesswoman stuff was always with the add-on, and have an amazing husband and 4 kids, maybe more, minimum of 3. So that was actually a much deeper desire for me. And I started learning about what the type of man that I probably wanted in a woman, if that was something that I was willing to do. He wants to have a feminine woman, and I'm actually quite feminine to my core. And I was starting watching these videos about feminism, and I was starting to realize that feminism does not value women, femininity, or womanhood. They don't. They want you to be an international successful businesswoman, and that's not gonna make you happy, probably. So those were some of the steps that I did, and I also started doing some inner work. I'm still working on that, trying to be less aggressive. Not that I'm an aggressive person, but sometimes I can be quite argumentative if it's a subject I feel very strong on, and if I'm in company that I really trust, like my family. My poor little sister have to hear me go through all these opinions about this kind of stuff. I think that was most of it. But yeah, now I'm doing more inner work, being honest to myself about my flaws. Some things that I've done more recently. I'm quite surprised whenever I do this, of the response that I get. I try to be more open, vulnerable, and honest. Being honest about my sugar addiction that I burned out. Being honest how I feel about femininity. Being honest that even with a master's degree from a very good business school, I probably want to be a housewife. I still feel quite shy about that one. Be more honest about my weaknesses as well. It's quite well received from people. Some other, let's say, inner work I do is that I try to be a better listener, and I try to relax more. I try to see not things only in my way, the way I want to see things. But you know, sometimes you're talking with somebody and then they say something like, oh yeah, I know that too, like you really want to jump in. I try to hold that one back, to let them tell me what they want to tell me, and for me to give them space to tell me that, because that's always very loving. Another thing that I try to do less, practice not doing at all, is giving people advice. Sophie, isn't that what you're doing right now? Okay. Let me rephrase. I stopped nagging on people. I didn't think that I was nagging, but it was actually what I was doing. Me and my siblings, we have a past history. It's still kind of there of trying to improve each other all the time, which is not a nice feeling. It's not nice when somebody tells you that they think you should do this and this and this instead, and you're living your life a wrong way, and this is not good for you, what you're doing. You know it's good for you, or you know you're at least on the right track to finding something that will work for you eventually. They can never know the full story of your life and how you feel, and that goes both ways. I cannot tell people how they should live and what I think they should do, or at least I can, but I cannot expect them to follow it. It's not up to me. I cannot control other people. If they ask my opinion, I can give it to them. I can tell them my opinion on some things if it's really my place, but it's probably not. But I cannot expect them to do so. I believe that people are free to do what they find best, and they are free to choose what they find best. I will never expect them to do certain things or demand that they do certain things. I will respond to what they do in the way that I find best. If you're not reliable, I will not rely upon you. I can never force anybody to do anything they don't want to do, and I shouldn't spend my time on that. And also letting go on stuff. Stop trying to control everything. Stop trying to control everything. This was probably a long video. Maybe that's gonna be the format. Who knows? I'm telling my story to you, being honest. Hopefully you can take from it whatever you can, and I'll cut it down a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you will subscribe if you like to see more videos. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a like. I highly appreciate it. And please leave me a comment to let me know what you think. Have you experienced anything similar? What are your feelings about femininity? Bye! Or as we say where I come from, hi hi!